welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, June 28, 2023, and tonight I will be talking about AEW Dynamite. Alright, so if you guys have been watching my show, you know that I called this. I said Jack Perry was going to turn heel, he was going to turn on Hook, and he was going to take the FT title off of Hook. He turned heel and he turned on Hook. He has yet to take the FT3 title, but he came out to the ring tonight and he ordered his music to be turned off. If you guys know, for the last couple of years, he's been using Bananarama's Jungle Boy. Or Tarzan Boy, I mean. My bad. And so he ordered the music to be turned off. He says that everyone has ruined that song for him and we will never hear it again. So the reason why we probably won't ever hear it again is because according to Fightful Select, with Jack Perry's new heel turn, there are some big changes in store for him, we're told. His babyface friendly theme has been planned for a change as well. So it seems like they're obviously going to give him a new theme song for his heel turn. He says he's still young and cashing checks. He's banging the hottest chick on the planet. And did he turn on Hook or did everyone turn on him? He says after everything he's done and he's given to his place, he was being robbed of 2 championships. He wasn't about to sit back and watch Hook dangle that title in front of him. He makes note of the fact that the FTW title isn't recognized by AEW. And he calls Hook a fraud. He says he's never needed Hook and that Jungle Hook was special because of him. And that when he gets his hands on Hook, he's going to beat the shit out of him. And then Hook comes out and he chases Jungle Boy out of the ring. And Jungle Boy dives headfirst into the car as Hook chases him. And he looked like Christian Cage, with that black shirt and that brown coat. You guys know what I'm talking about? He looked like Christian Cage. And he had sunglasses out. So I wouldn't be surprised if he drops the Jungle Boy and becomes Hollywood Jack Perry. After all, his dad is the late Luke Perry. So it wouldn't surprise me if he adopts like a Hollywood persona after that. But what did you guys think of Jungle Boy's heel turn? Were you surprised? Did you see it coming? Let me know in the live chat or in the comment section down below. AEW Dynamite kicked off with Jon Moxley versus Tomohiro Ishii. This was a freaking insane match. I actually really enjoyed this match. According to commentary, this was a rematch from the G1 Climax where Jon Moxley won. They were giving themselves back and forth chops. They both men attempted a short shoulder tackle. You had back and forth elbows. Moxley flipped off Ishii. At some point, Ishii flipped off Moxley. You had Jon Moxley doing stomps to Ishii. Moxley jumped over the barricade. Eddie Kingston came out. He grabbed the chair. He's pretty much watching this match. You had Ishii doing a superplex to Jon Moxley. Moxley got busted open. No surprise there. They did back and forth strikes. Moxley had an elbow strike and Ishii went down. You had Ishii doing a back suplex to Jon Moxley. A German suplex to Ishii, which was followed by a King Kong Lariat. This match was just brutal in every way. And then Moxley, his eye got busted open and his forehead got busted open. So he was just like a bloody mess. And Jon Moxley wins this after he hits a double underhook and then a Death Rider to Tomohiro Ishii. So this was actually a really great way to kick off tonight's Dynamite. Actually really enjoyed the match. And definitely would like to see more of Ishii in Dynamite. But really good match. Next we're supposed to get a backstage interview with Adam Cole, baby. But just as he was about to talk, MJF pulled up for the interview. He says that they can run this company together. And he wants to bond with Adam Cole this weekend. And so Adam Cole agrees to hang out with MJF. But he tells MJF not to touch him. And then MJF got the merch and it says, "We're better than you, baby," which I thought was a really cool shirt. I'll probably end up buying that shirt. I'm going to, this happened later on in the night, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it because it's related to it. So there's another segment later on in the night where Adam Cole says he can't trust MJF and he's just playing along. So basically, he's talking to Roderick Strong here, who shows up and hugs him. And then MJF wants to go out for the night. And he calls Roderick Strong a generic white dude, which I thought was hilarious. So afterwards, we get a John Moxley backstage segment. And he said that there was some BS out there. Eddie Kingston confronts John Moxley and says he's got his back, but he's with Claudio. And then Renee tells Eddie Kingston that he better fix this or she's done. So there's clearly some animosity between Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, who Eddie Kingston's not too happy with the fact that John Moxley's hanging out with Claudio Castelloni. That's for sure. So we get a trios match. It's Orange Cassidy, El Hijo del Vikingo, and Keith Lee versus Daniel Garcia and Angelo Parker and Matt Mernard. And when they showed how Orange Cassidy, El Hijo del Vikingo, and Keith Lee became a team, you could see that Keith Lee's wearing a Mia Yim shirt, which makes sense because that's his wife. I think my favorite spot in this match was when Daniel Garcia did his signature dance, but he did on top of Keith Lee. Like Keith Lee, like he stood on Keith Lee's back and did his signature dance, which I thought was hilarious. There's this other spot where Cassidy steals Angelo Parker's comb and he puts it in his pocket, and then he brushed his hair with it as Daniel Garcia attempted to steal it back, which I thought was hilarious. Another spot that I thought was pretty cool is when Keith Lee did a double lariat to Angelo Parker and Matt Mernard while he had Daniel Garcia on his shoulders. Orange Cassidy hit the orange punch to Angelo Parker, and then Keith Lee suplexed Matt Mernard. Orange Cassidy, El Hijo del Vikingo, and Keith Lee were victorious, which I thought this was a fun match. So very curious to see who's going to take Orange Cassidy's AEW International title. And maybe it could be Daniel Garcia, maybe it could be somebody from this match. But I thought this was a really fun little match here. We get a Chris Jericho backstage interview, and he says that he's going to bring out the Painmaker. His match with, he says that Sting and Jericho should have been on TBS, and that Sting knows a little bit about being dark, and he tells Sting that he's not facing Jericho, he's facing the Painmaker. So that was the main event. But I'll talk more about that when I get there. We get a backstage segment with the Elite, and they say they have an open challenge. Dark Order interrupts, and they speak to Hangman. Matt Jackson finishes what Hangman started saying, and Evil Uno accuses Hangman Adam Page of abandoning them. Alex Reynolds tells Hangman that they were friends at his lowest point, and tonight they're opponents. Which is true. You know, to be honest, I kind of felt like that storyline with the Dark Order was more about Hangman than about them. And now we're revisiting it because it does seem like Hangman completely abandoned the Dark Order when they were there for him, when the Elite wasn't. So this leads into the Dark Order versus the Elite. And Hangman was supposed to start this, but he didn't. He tagged in Matt Jackson, who started with Alex Reynolds. So, like, what I liked about this match, it wasn't necessarily the spots, but it was the fact that Hangman felt conflicted in this match. There was this one spot where he tried to hit John Silver with the buckshot lariat, but he hesitated. He just had this look on his face, and John Silver was able to counter that buckshot lariat. But he did hit John Silver with the dead eye. So the big story in this was obviously, like I said, Hangman's confliction on the Dark Order. So the Elite win this after they hit the BT trigger, followed by the Buckshot Lariat. And after the Elite win this, the BCC attack the Elite, and the Dark Order refuses to help them. And let me see. Hangman's like the kid who gets to sit at the popular table at lunch, who all of a sudden forgets about his old friends. Yeah, definitely. So the Dark Order refuses to help the Elite during this, and then Hangman makes his face like he's just like shocked that Dark Order wouldn't help. And so John Moxley says that they're going to end this, and on July 19th, they're challenging them to blood and guts. So this was not what I expected. I honestly thought that the women were going to get blood and guts, not the guys. So I thought, that's what the whole feud with the Outcasts versus the Originals was leading to, but I'll talk more about that when we get to the match. So seems like the feud's going to come to an end at Blood and Guts. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the live chat or in the comment section. So after this is we get the second Adam Cole segment, but I talked about that. I'm going to go ahead and skip that. And then we get the Jungle Boy, the Jack Perry in-ring segment, but I already talked about that. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that. And we get Ruby Soho versus Alexia Nicole. This was an enhancement match. There was nothing more to it except for the fact that Ruby did mock Britt Baker using the whole glove and the lockjaw. And the reason why it was Ruby Soho versus Alexia Nicole and not Dr. Britt Baker DMD like originally planned was Tony Khan tweeted out that Dr. Britt Baker DMD was medically cleared to wrestle tonight and their match will take place next week. So Ruby Soho says that when she talked about this her opponent, what this was Canada's finest, and how this wasn't her original opponent, she says that she talks about how Adam Cole was sick and unable to compete at Forbidden Door, just like Britt Baker was sick and was unable to compete tonight. And I thought this was really uncalled for. She says that if Adam Cole and Britt Baker have kids, they will be weak little bastards. I was like, ouch. I can't believe she said that. She said that Britt took everything away from her and that she's going to take Britt's opportunity to become a two-time Women's Owen Hart Cup winner. So like I said, I really thought that the Originals versus the Outcasts were going to get a blood and guts match. That doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe because Jamie Hayter got injured and it didn't happen, but I totally thought it was going to happen. Otherwise, what was the whole point of that feud? There was no payoff for that feud. And if they do continue the feud, that it does get some type of payoff. And I thought blood and guts would be that payoff, but I guess not. So our main event ends up being the Tornado Tag Match, the Painmaker and Sammy Guevara versus Sting and Darby Allin. So one of the spots I liked about this was that Chris Jericho and Sting each had their bat with them, which I thought was really cool at the time, made for a fun little spot. And oh my god, let's talk about the biggest talking point in this match, which was so Sting set up 2 tables and he set up Sammy Guevara on those tables. And Darby Allin was at the top of the ladder, but Sting told him no. And he climbed the ladder and he jumped off the ladder onto the tables. That spot had me worried because he didn't get both tables and he got some of Sammy Guevara. So I was really worried, especially for Sting at his age, shouldn't be doing those crazy moves. So yeah. But what do you guys think of Sting's table spot? Let me know in the live chat or in the comments section down below. So Darby Allin does hit the back of Chris Jericho with the skateboard. You got Sting doing the Stinger splash on Chris Jericho on the barricade. After everything is said and done, Sting and Darby Allin win by submission. After Chris Jericho, after Sting hits the Scorpion, after Sting hits the Scorpion Death Drop to Chris Jericho, which isn't enough, so then he hits the Scorpion Death Lock to Chris Jericho, and they are victorious. So overall, I thought it was a pretty decent Dynamite tonight. And, it was enjoyable for the most part. I did like it better than Raw, though, that's for sure. So, but with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't already done so, feel free to check out my Astro Megazord unboxing. And I will see you guys Friday after SmackDown. Bye.